Hi, this is Dr. Mark Pitstick at soulproof.com. We're talking about after-death contacts, ADCs, and maybe you've had something like that, but there was no one else around, so it wasn't shared. There was no real evidence that came from it, but you had that experience yourself, and you know without a doubt that it was real. Well, that's the third category of ADCs, transformational ADCs. When you have one of these, you know without a doubt no one can tell you otherwise. For example, my mother. About a year after my dad passed on, Mom was in the kitchen by herself, doors and windows locked, no one else in the condo, working at the kitchen, and felt out of nowhere a big pinch on her behind. She whipped around, totally expecting to see someone, but when there wasn't, she said out loud, "Bill Pitstick, that has to be you. No one else would touch me there." Mom's in her right mind. Years later, she still talks about it, and it warms her heart to know that she had contact from Dad. I did too. Very fascinating after-death contact from Dad. 2 days before the year anniversary of his passing, I told my fiance Andy that I felt like we should do more work on the after-death contacts, and I was looking for a spiral-bound version of my book, Soul Proof, a previous version that I didn't have any more of. 2 days later, my office called me and said, "A man just came into the office with a spiral-bound copy of your book. He said he was walking down the street and saw it out in the road and cars were driving over it. He picked it up and thought you might want it." Wow, that was on the year anniversary of Dad's death. But even more than that, when I got the book and was leafing through it, I saw tire tracks. And I had the thought, I wonder if those tire tracks have any meanings to them. And so I looked through the book carefully. There were only 4 pages that had tire tracks. The first 2 pages of the after-death contact chapter, the last 2 pages of the after-death contact chapter. That chapter was bookmarked, so to speak, by these tire tracks, and I felt like Dad's way of saying on his year anniversary of passing, "Hey, you want an after-death contact to share about?" And that's why I am. One of my clients, Nishka, had a son, Trent, who was born very premature. He was in the hospital for 6 months, had a trachea, had a breathing tube, and through an accident died the day before they expected to bring him home. So you can imagine how devastated she was by this death. Well, fortunately, she had a series of after-death contacts from Trent. His little baby booties would move from one room to the other. His picture that was on the wall would move in front of her while she'd be looking at it. It would shift one way or the other. And these, and the evidence from Soul Proof, gave her enough comfort that she felt like she could survive. She could keep on keeping on, even though she had this profound, profound loss. Another patient of mine named Sarah, her son died in Iraq, Aaron. And Sarah started having dreams, first of all about him, very vivid dreams, like she was talking with him. And then she started seeing him in her peripheral vision. She would just spot him out of the corner of her eye, and she thought she was going crazy. Then we talked about it. She read the information in Soul Proof and found out that these after-death contacts often occur in dreams, and in fact she was perceiving him. So if you had something like this, don't think you're going crazy. Know that you're seeing exciting evidence and share it with others. So visit our website, soulproof.com, sign up for the newsletter so you can learn much more about all this life-changing information.